So before his popularity waned, he was able to negotiate a surrender. And then, so he goes to prison. For people that have no idea about Pablo, Steve, would you be able to sort of give us a rundown of the prison, the makeup of it, and the situation that led him to being put in there?
Absolutely. So the day after he escaped from his prison, Javier and I flew to Medellin, and that's when we started our 18-month stint of living and working with the Colombian National Police, the search block up in Medellin. And that first day, we actually flew over to the prison, and all of our theories were confirmed that it wasn't a prison. It was more like a country club. At the beginning, the front gate, once you got in the gate and you came up to the front entrance of the prison, there were two sets of steel bars, which are indicative of a prison environment. It's like a sally port type thing. But then once you got inside, there weren't any bars anywhere. The fence was a joke. There was a big hole in the back fence where you could come and go as you pleased. Pablo's cell, his prison cell, was a 2-room suite that had, hardwood floors. It had a side-by-side refrigerator freezer, a microwave oven, custom built cabinets, and a banana bar with bar stools. He had color coordinated draperies and upholstery on his couches, and all the furniture in the living room. He had artwork hanging on the walls, and not cheap artwork. He had a Salvador Dali original worth over $3 million hanging in the prison. He had a huge painting from a famous Colombian artist who's still alive, Fernando Botero. He had a Botero original hanging in the prison that, we were told was worth over $1.5 million. You go in the second room, he's got this custom built bed that's larger than any king size bed you've ever seen in your life. He had an audio visual center because he didn't have cable TV, satellite TV, and Netflix and that kind of stuff back then. Fireplace in there, an office with bookshelves. He had his own private bathroom with a jacuzzi tub. Now, this is a prison. Most prisons have what we call group showers, right? Yeah, we didn't even have jacuzzi tubs in our apartments back in Bogota. He had a huge walk-in closet. You pull one of the shelves out, there was a safe hidden back in there, which we finally got it open. There was nothing in it. But then there's an area of the closet where, like my wife would say, that's where ladies would hang their long clothes, their dresses, nightgowns, and evening gowns and things like that. And on the back side, on the wall, there was a hidden button that Javier found. You open that, you push that button, and there's another hiding spot. We call it colette in Spanish. And it's just, a colette is just anywhere that you can hide or secrete things. And so that was a little hiding spot he had that he thought, well, if the gringos come here to get me, I'll jump in here. If I can't escape from the room, then I'll jump in here and hide until they leave. And we kind of jokingly say, but we're serious when we say it. We found that. We're pretty sure we'd have found his big ass in there if he'd have been in there when the time had come. But had a soccer field, professional grade soccer field with lighted, for night play. And, I've got 4 kids. None of my kids ever had lights on the soccer fields to play at nighttime. The other prisoners, they had 2-room suites, but they didn't have the jacuzzi tub. They did have private bathrooms. He was building a series of cabanas and chalets on the back side of the prison. So that hole in that back fence, you go out there and there's all these cabanas, and these are really nice. I mean, it was one of the things that wasn't completed when we were there was a log cabin. But we went up there, and again, you saw the hardwood floors and the beautiful flowers that are indicative of Colombia, and they really are beautiful. But every one of those cabanas and chalets had an alternate escape route. And so in our show, we actually show one of them where you go into a bedroom, you open the closet doors, there's a little hole in the floor, and you can put your finger in it, pull the floor up, and there's a hidden staircase that takes you under the house so you can escape out the back side of the house and go up into the mountains and get away. It was just, he had an anti-aircraft gun on the grounds of the prison to shoot the good guys down if we came in to get him. It's just a joke.
Jesus.
I forgot about his kids. He had playgrounds set up for his kids. So when they would come to visit, they had a little, I don't even know what you call that house. It's a little playhouse.
Like
house.
Children would,
yeah. And it had running water and electricity in it. You got to remember, back at this time, Colombia's a beautiful place. And I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, but it was still close to being a third world country. There were lots of places in Colombia that we went to where they didn't have electricity and running water. But here, he's got it down here in the little playhouse for his kids when they come to visit. Just a joke.
Didn't
And remember the drinking bar he had there.
Oh yeah,
He
I
had
forgot about
a
that.
built
Yep.
bar at his so-called prison where they party, liquor. We found a lot of pictures, and you know what? One of the most unusual photos we found is a photo of Popeye dressed up as a woman. So, I mean, it was just a lot of parties going on there. Lot of, I don't know if I can mention it, but I will.
mention
Sex
whatever you
toys.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yes, a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
sex toys,
Tell us what.
lingerie, letters written from mothers offering their daughters. And that is, I'm serious when say that is sick, you know, for money, of course. People from all over the world admiring him, tell him how much, you know, he's a hero. And so you get that attitude from, oh, he's a Robin Hood, and just people thanking him. I mean, thousands of letters that he was getting from this type of people.
And you know, Andy, if you don't mind me mentioning this, and it's still about Pablo. It's not anything to do with the prison, but you know, here's this mass murderer, the world's biggest cocaine manufacturer and distributor. To this day, he's still the richest criminal of all time. You know, Chapo had a couple $1 million. He didn't even come close to what Pablo had. But when he started dating his wife, Tata is her nickname, he was in his mid-20s. You know how old she was? 12.
Fuck off.
Now I've got 2 daughters, and right now I have 5 granddaughters. If a 20-something-year-old, if an 18-year-old man wanted to date one of my kin people, we're going to have a major problem.
What?
Now,
she was 12.
12 years old, and Tata has written a book, and I'm not promoting her book, but I did read it because we try to stay up on all this stuff. And she admits in her book that when she was 13 years old, she had an abortion. What kind of sick person wants to have sex with a 12-year-old? I mean, they don't even have bumps and curves that, you know, women have. It's just, so on top of the whole point here, on top of everything else, he's a pedophile.
Oh my God.
And at all the places when he was, like I said, on the run, there'd always be a young girl with him. There'd be a cook, and there'd be a teenager girl with him. I mean,
Jesus. What? And yeah. What can you say? What can you say about him? He's just a wrong in every area, isn't he?
You know, this is a guy who, he wasn't content being the world's first narco terrorist. He's got to take it to the nth degree on every crime. You know, it wasn't just cocaine trafficking that was his crime. He's a murderer. He's a thief. That's how he started out, stealing hubcaps and gravestones. Wow, there's something to be proud of. But then on top of that, he's got to be a pedophile. It's just like completely out of control. And this is a guy who wanted to be the president of Colombia.